Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Lane, Cryptic Encounters here. I wanted to go over this footage of these dogs, these two Sasquatches riding on my poodle dog and then one on the ground by my Chihuahua. Anyways, um, I'm going to zoom in here and you can see the one laying on the back of my Chihuahua or my poodle right there, and then there's one right here by his hind leg. You can see looking up at me. So I'm going to go forward and back so you can see their movement a little bit. I'll go forward just here. It's okay. See him smiling there? See his facial features? He's showing his teeth. Let me move up a little bit closer so you can see. Watch this. Okay, see his face? See his eyes? There's his teeth showing. You can see him moving around on her back. And you can see the facial expressions of the other one. See his face move, his body move. See, my dog is barking at the big Sasquatch behind the tree. She's not really paying no mind to these babies. That means that they've been playing with her a lot. And she doesn't mind them because she's barking back there at the big Sasquatch. And she's not paying no mind to these babies. That means they play with her a lot. You can see his face coming in clear there. Right there. You can see his eyes and his teeth. So these Sasquatches play with my dogs a lot at night. It's obvious. Sometimes they'll go out there for a good half hour. I won't hear hide or hair from them. And that's what they're doing. They're out there playing with these little Sasquatch. Look at this one here looking straight ahead. But for the mothers and the parents of these Sasquatches letting their babies out like that, it just goes to show you that they don't have no fear of my family or me, or they wouldn't let their babies no way near my dogs if they thought they were a threat. Here's one of the adults right there. They're up in the tree work. They're real close by there. Here's one with his head peeking around right there. There's a couple of them peeking down through there, and there's one of the adults peeking around the shadow right there, and then there's the baby on the ground playing with my little Chihuahua right there. Okay, back to these ones. Okay, so we can see the facial expressions here. I'm going to go ahead and okay, you can see him turn his head. Watch him turn his head there again. Let me do it again. If I'd have known this, I'd have let him stay playing. But I was yelling at my dogs to come on. I didn't realize that they were playing with the Sasquatches, or I would have let them be and just sat there and filmed them. Man, it was a missed opportunity, that's for sure. Look at that. Isn't that just amazing? Man, that's definitive proof, fellas. That's smoking gun footage right there. Absolutely smoking gun footage. Okay. So they're just laying there on her. Okay, she's starting to turn, and look, there goes the Sasquatch. She turns her body, and you see the face of that one there, jumping off of her as she turns. And there's the face on the other side that just rotated with her. Okay? See it flying through the air, watch. It's hanging on there to her tail. I reckon there's another uh, it's right, one of them's on her tail right there as she flings him off. I believe she flings him off right there. No, she ain't flung off. The Sasquatch didn't fling off. He just held on. Okay, let's see. He's still on there. Okay, it gets dark right there for a second because like I said, I didn't know, so I took the light off of them. Let me see if there's another section here. Okay, here's one of those little Sasquatches on the ground now. He's right there. He's walking back up to the other. There's my other Chihuahua coming facing toward him. See, he's walking right there. It looks like he's waiting for my Chihuahua now. See him standing there? There's the Chihuahua standing in front of the little feller. I don't know. He's probably only a foot tall. Just a little juvenile. And then there's my little Chihuahua walking over toward him. Let's see what happens here. Okay, you see him sidestep there. Okay, there's an adult there with him. You can't see him because he's got a head covering on, and I'm going to show him to you here in just a minute. Okay, so he steps back, stands straight up, the baby does. Here's the baby. He's leaning forward on his knee. Watch this. Steps forward, or steps back, or steps forward. Let's see. It moves so quick. Okay, he steps back and he stands straight up. You see his little face right there. Okay, right here under this covering, this is an adult. And I'm going to show you something. He's wearing a face covering, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. There's a Sasquatch underneath there. He's wearing a. Some of them will wear like a. One of them had a big seashell type thing he was wearing on top of his head. This is like a wooden. It looks like a tree stump type thing. It's just like a little plank they wear on their heads where they can hide from above. It does look like a piece of wood if they stand still. And it's concealment. They do cover and concealment, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the adult was right there with him the whole entire time. And Molly's right there with them. So they're standing right there with my dog Molly, okay? There's one of the babies that's still on top of her right there. As Molly comes by, they slip off of her. So this one's turned around now. You can see his little feet as Molly walks by. I'm yelling for them. See, they're just standing out in the yard with my dog. It's just unbelievable. Okay, here he is standing up now. I think he's off of her. He's off her back. But you'll see this adult here in just a second, the two adults. One of them's right there, and you can't even hardly tell because of his camouflage. But we're going to see his camouflage here in just a second. Okay. This one's face is turned around looking at me. See his two little eyes? He's got his nocturnal lens on. He's looking at me. This one here that's Molly's face right there. And that one there's 11 on her right there, it looks like. as she's walking by. And that one there's looking at me behind the blade of grass. Okay. There's Molly. I should have just, and there's the one standing up behind her. There's his eyes. Look at him. He's looking at me. It's kind of blended out, but he's standing there behind Molly now, looking at me. There's his two eyes. I should have just let him play. I should have known better. But look at that. That's not even, I don't know, 15 feet from me, and these two little juveniles are out here playing with my dog. It's just unbelievable, man. It's absolutely unbelievable. That goes to show you they're getting comfortable around me. Okay, so here they go. Stupid phone. Uh, okay, you can see the eye movement there. That's the face of one of the adults right there. You can see him right there. It's that little light colored spot. You can see his eye right there. He's underneath his camouflage, which I'm going to show you this camouflage in a second. But he's getting his kid. See, he's got a hold of that one juvenile on his arm now. He's got one of them on his arm. Getting them out of here. It looks like they're looking up, probably at one of the giants up in the sky. Most likely, both of those Sasquatches are looking up. You'll see them when they look up. They're looking to make sure their relatives are close by, which they're right there. Okay. So I wasn't really, I didn't even really notice the Sasquatches playing with my dog. So I pan away, just being stupid. I didn't know. And, but then I catch other Sasquatch footage in the meantime. There's other beings here, which I'll get into that on my next video. But during that time, it gave time. I'm going to speed through this. It gave time for those beings that the kids that was on my dogs to get away without me catching it on footage. But then after Molly leaves there, she runs down to another part of the yard, which is right here, right? So she was up at the main tree playing with the Sasquatches. I pan away because I didn't know they were there. When I panned back through, Molly ran down the yard. She followed them. And that one baby is laying at the top of the grass. You can see his two eyes right there. And look at his bushy hair. So she's still playing with these juveniles after I pan back over and see him. There's that juvenile laying there at the yard again. And Molly's just sitting there barking at him. There's one juvenile there, and there's one right here. The two that was playing with her are with her down at the other end of the yard. And I should have left them alone, but during the video, I'm yelling at my dogs to come back, and I didn't know that she was playing with them, or I'd have just left them alone. But yeah, there's all kind of Sasquatches in this video all the way through it. They blend so well, and you know, but they're at a point now to where obviously, looking at this footage, obviously I'm starting to gain a little bit of trust from them for them to let their babies play out in the open in front of me like that. Because if anybody with ill intent could shoot them or anything, you know what I mean? And but they know I'm not like that, so they're getting a little bit lenient with their young ones playing around me. And but they cloak so well. Just like there's a big Sasquatch right there, and you can't even, someone with a trained eye can see him. Tell me in the comments below at this point right here if you see the large Sasquatch. Just let me know. I would appreciate it. Anyways, like, subscribe. Look at that big bushy hair and those eyes hitting that something, man. Let's see if we can get a little eye movement before I close the video. Here's a squint. Here's a blink. You see that? There's a blink in the eye right there. There's a blink. Anyways, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Peace.